welcome back to Lex Reads. So in today's video, we are actually doing what? Oh Lord, my mind. February wrap up. And like always, we always do books, music, and movies. And when I tell you this month, I had a really good reading month. But like when it came to like the movies, I went in. Because as you guys know, last month I literally only watched like one movie. So I was like, oh, I have to really get the movies in. So I did. So okay, let's just get started with the books. Okay, so the first book that I read, which was like my most anticipated read for the whole year, and that is House of Eve by Sadeqa Johnson. As you guys know, I did a reading vlog. I will link it down below. When I tell you this is just amazing, I mean, Sadeqa just, yeah. I'm just like I don't know even how to describe her writing. I'm so speechless because it's just fantastic. She, not only does she know how to tell a well-rounded story, she does it in few pages. You're entertained, and it's a page turner. You want to know what's going to happen. You're on your toes. In this book, you are on your toes. It's almost like it gives you like a thriller aspect, because you want to know what's going to happen to Ruby with her situation, but then you go to Eleanor, and then the way that she like crafted this was just like phenomenal. So it's two women, Ruby and Eleanor. It goes back and forth. So it's almost like every other chapter, you go to Ruby's story, and then you go to Eleanor's story, and you go back to Ruby's story, you go to Eleanor. So it's like that, and it's just done phenomenally. And Ruby's in first person, Eleanor's in third person. She's the type of author where she knows how to write, so she knows how to handle it. You are in really good hands when you are reading a Sadeqa Johnson book. That's all I'm gonna say. But oh my goodness, I don't know who I like better. I like both of their stories. I love Ruby's story, but I love Eleanor's story. And just a quick background, you have Ruby, who is 15 years old. She wants to be the first person to go to college. She comes from a family that, they scrub, toilets, and they clean, white people's homes and stuff like that. It's set in the 1950s. And her mother just does not want anything to do with her. Her mother wishes that she was not born, and she ends up living with her aunt, Marie. And then you see how it goes with her trying to, get this scholarship to go to college, but then she meets this young man named Shimmy. Oh, and it's like, oh my goodness, you don't know what's going to happen with that relationship. And he's a Jewish boy, and it's in the 1950s. Then you go to Eleanor, who is 19 years old. She is a sophomore at Howard University, and she comes from very humble beginnings. She comes from Ohio. And when it comes to like classism and racism and colorism, that's like foreign to her. And she gets, involved with a young man named William that comes from like this black elite. And also she tackles, like I said before, colorism, because she doesn't know anything about that. And girl, I mean, they talk about the brown paper bag, test. And also I love the fact that Sadeqa Johnson, she has characters that are based on real people. For example, Dorothy Porter, who was a librarian and like an archivist. She had like the largest like collection of Black history, arts, books, everything in Howard University. And she was also she changed the Dewey Decimal System. So I mean, she just was a pioneer. I have two copies. This is my nice, pretty, clean copy, and I have the other copy that's actually in my bedroom because I'm reading it again for the second time. So yeah, you already know how I feel about Sadeqa Johnson. I was obsessed with The Yellow Eye. So yeah, that was this. Please pick this up. Please pick this up. Then next I read A Woman of Endurance. I'm not even going to try to say this lady's name. This is the name. Now, what's special about this book, it's a slavery novel, but it's set in Puerto Rico. And this was the first time I read a novel that is slavery themed, that is not set in the South, like Alabama or Virginia or Louisiana. No, it's set in Puerto Rico. Another thing that I liked about this book is the main character, Polo. You know how with slave narratives, like the main protagonist, they're kind of like sweet, innocent, like kind of shy, reserved, don't say anything. Polo was the total opposite, but she was like that because, oh Lord, the things that she went through. I mean, it's slavery, so we already know, slavery is just beyond brutality. But she was clearly enslaved, but she was like a breeder, meaning that she would literally, you know, get pregnant by, obviously, girl, so many, the master's friends, I mean, everybody, okay? They would just use her body and just discard it. And then she would have the baby, and literally, like, right when she had the baby, they would just, like, take it out of her arms. And, oh, Lord, it just was horrible. And at the beginning part, it starts with her actually escaping. And she's beaten just unbelievable. And then she goes to a plantation, and you have these women that just really nurture her and just take a hold of her. And I didn't know that slavery actually started in the Caribbean before it made it to the US. Had no idea about that until I read this book. So y'all, please read this. This came out last year, I believe, and not a lot of people talked about this book. Please get this, because this is another one. And also look at the cover, and if you look at it, that's like a portrait of, obviously, an enslaved person, and their back is branded. And if you look at the cover of the woman's dress, look, it's supposed to be branded too. So I love this cover. I was watching an interview with the author, and she was explaining the cover, and I didn't even notice that until she had talked about it. So yeah. And then lastly, Flyy Girl by Omar Tyree. We actually had our book club, yesterday, which I want to thank you guys so much for participating. I will be doing another one. This, I gave it a 3-star. This is my first Omar Tyree book. First time I read Flyy Girl. I know this is a series. There's 3 books in the series. I am going to continue to read the last 2 books, because this is the series that I want to focus on this year. Tracy got on my nerves. That's all I gotta say. Tracy got on my nerves. Lord, this was a coming of age, urban fiction. And you guys know I love urban fiction. I love that dialogue. I would say one thing I really liked about this book was that dialogue. I think what got on my nerves is the fact that Tracy, when we first meet her, she's what, 6, then she jumps to 13, then she jumps to 17. And 13 to 17, it's like, Lord. But then I had to keep on thinking, you're a 31-year-old woman. This is a 13 to 17-year-old child. So of course she's not gonna do the things that you would do. She's a child. So after I got that in my mind, I had to keep on telling myself that. Then I was able to kind of get into it. But I mean, I really did like it. It was entertaining. I think if I'm being honest, I was in such a whirlwind and was so excited about the House of Eve that I literally picked this up on the 1st. The House of Eve came up on the 7th of February. Girl was done with the House of Eve before I was done with this. So yeah. But I mean, overall, like I said, it was a good book. I am going to finish the series, and yeah. Okay, so that is all with the books. They're really good with the books. Now let's go to the movies. Now, y'all, you guys know how I get on kicks of stuff where if I like a author or if I like a, actress, I will watch all of their things. For example, how I did with Timby Locke. You guys know the book from scratch. It was a Netflix, series, and I end up watching like all of Timby Locke's like whole catalog. She's an actress. I did that with this person I'm going to mention, and her name is Jessica Williams. Now I know you guys probably know Jessica Williams. She has like a slap silly kind of comedy, but then she has like that black humor. But I watched quite a few of her movies. Okay, so first I started with Entergalactic, which, oh my goodness, why nobody didn't tell me about that? Girl, that was so good, that animation, and I loved every minute of it. I like Kid Cudi, so I'm a fan of his music. I like his whole style. He's real different. So when I saw that he was doing that, so when I had looked on Netflix, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really watch my Netflix. I watch everything else. I watch my HBO, watch my Hulu, but Netflix I don't watch. But I'm like, let me just see what's on there. And it came up, and I'm like, let me see what this is about. Oh, I loved it. I love Meadow, and I love Jabari. I loved everything. I love that music. I love the art. Just all of it. Okay, so after I saw that, I said, oh, I really like, and so after I saw that, and the girl that played Meadow, obviously the voice was by Jessica Williams, which I love her voice, that raspy voice. I said, let me see anything else that she's in. Okay, so I watched another movie with her. It's called People, Places, and Things. She's actually playing a art student. Her professor has recently, his wife has like filed for divorce or something like that, and she thinks that her mother would be a good fit for her professor. And then you just see how it goes. And her mother is actually played by Regina Hall, and I'm a huge fan of Regina Hall. So it was a cute little movie. I liked it. Again, I watched it because I want to see all the scenes with Jessica Williams, but it was really good. Then next, I went back to my Netflix and I watched the incredible Jessica James, which is literally starring Jessica Williams. And Jessica is a playwright that she can't get her works, basically she can't get any of her works into like production and her plays into production. And then she's trying to get over her ex-boyfriend, and she's in her 20s and she just trying to get everything together. I really liked it. Again, it's a comedy. I like that. It's like a little dark comedy. It was real funny. I liked it. And then I saw that she was in a new series that's on Apple TV called Shrinking. So funny. So you have, first of all, Harrison Ford. Y'all know Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones. So the premise of this story is it's three shrinks. Well, I shouldn't say shrinks, Lord. It's three therapists, and the main guy, which is played by Jason Segel, I believe, his wife has just passed unexpectedly, and he's a therapist, so he's trying to navigate that. He's trying to navigate his job. He has like a 16-year-old, I believe, teenager that, Lord. And then, he has his co-workers, which Jessica plays a character named Gabby. She's so funny. So funny. And then you have Harrison Ford, who plays a man named Paul. And you guys know Harrison Ford, he's like really, really serious, but then he's actually funny. So I have been loving that. It just premiered last month. Actually, it just premiered in January. So I have like caught up on all the episodes. I think like a new episode comes every Friday or something like that. So I'm really liking it. Really, really liking it. And then the last movie that I watched, I actually went to my DVDs. I've been really liking going back to my DVDs. I watched Boyz In The Hood. I hadn't seen that in so long. It's Boyz In The Hood. That is a classic. Lord, you got heavy hitters in there. Ricky, my heart. Lord, my heart. And that gets me. I've seen a movie so many times, and every time when his mother opens that SAT results and you see that he got the score that he needed to get, oh Lord, it gets me every single time. Come on now. You got Angela Bassett, you got Cuba Gooding Jr. Who else? Ice Cube, Lawrence Fishburne, Morris Chestnut, Nia Long. Come on now. That movie's just iconic. We all seen Boyz In The Hood. I would encourage you guys to watch it again. If you haven't watched it, watch it again and again and again and again. Like I said, it had been some years, so I just stumbled on that. I'm like, let me watch this again. And I enjoyed it. But yeah, my baby Ricky. Okay, so with the movies, I told y'all I had a lot of good movies this month. All right, music. Okay, so y'all know how last month I told y'all I had listened to the first album of Kelly Price. I went to another R&B diva from the 90s, which is Faith Evans. But I listened to her, I believe her third album, Faithfully, because I've listened to all her first album, listened to all her second album. I would say, if I'm being honest with you, Keep the Faith is probably my favorite. My second is Faithfully. Faithfully is just bomb. I think that came out in like 2001 or something. All right, so the interludes, y'all know I told y'all how I love those interludes. She is known for those interludes. All of them on that album is just banging. What do I like on that album? Oh, Lord. Okay, like all the singles that she had, just come on now. You Get No Love. What else? I Love You. Burning Up. Oh, what's the song with her and Carl Thomas? I love that song too. And then I would say the one song that's not a single that I love is Faithfully, the self-title track. Oh my goodness. It's sampling actually Into Me. Oh, what's that Into Me song? It's if you guys know back in the day, Into Me. Juicy Fruit. It's sampling Juicy. Look, I'm going all the way back. So clearly she's sampling Biggie, but she's originally what it came from is Into Me, okay? So yeah, what she's really sampling is the original group Into Me, Juicy Fruit, okay? So yeah, that whole album just bangers, bangers, bangers. Okay, and then I listen to, you guys know, of course, I do like, just regular songs, individual songs. Oh my goodness, this next singer, girl, Oleta Adams, get here. My sister sent me a TikTok of, it was a TikTok of her on the Oprah Winfrey show back in the 90s. And she got on that piano and started playing and that tone and then the lyrics, but her tone, unbelievable. Girl, please listen to that. Please, please, please listen to that song. Just amazing. That's been on rotation, okay? And it's probably going to go on rotation into March because that song just amazing. Then because of watching Shrinking and my obsession with Jessica Williams this month, she in that show was, she's really into like real rock, like, well, I don't know if you would say rock, like, ooh, I don't want to sound some type of way, but little white boy bands. But in that series, she was driving to Sugar Ray's every morning.
Every morning there's a halo hanging from the corner of my girlfriend's four-post bed.
Which I remember her singing that as a kid. I went through a little phase, or actually not even a phase, like in the late 90s, early 2000s. That was when like pop and rock music, like boy bands and like, the pop girls like Jessica Simpson and who else? Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears. I went through that, well, you would say phase or whatever, that me and my sister, that was like all we listened to. So I grew up on the little, I don't want to say white music, but y'all know what I mean. Okay. But yeah, listen to that. And then also I listened to 9 Days, and the song is called Absolutely, A Story of a Girl. Yeah, I go from R&B, soul to like boy bands, rock, pop music. Lord, look, I don't discriminate. Okay, I had a real eclectic music month of February. So yeah, guys, that was it for my books, movies, and music. Like I stated before, I had a really good February. Such a good February. Also, I want to thank you guys so much on the feedback of the Black History content that I put out. I really enjoyed making those videos. I probably will, every once in a while put in like just some, spontaneous videos of Black individuals, because again, Black History Month, I just don't celebrate it in February. I celebrate it all year around, okay? And we need to know those individuals. We need to know, the events and just everything when it comes to Black history, Black people, Black everything. So yeah, guys, thank you so much again for the feedback. And yeah, that's all I have. And I'll be back with more Black books. Bye.